So the NRA is no longer the juggernaut that it once was. It still has certain kind of social power and cachet among gun owners, but it's not really the kind of super powerhouse. But what we found is, I think, it doesn't matter anymore.
Yep.
The people are the NRA. The Republican voters are the NRA. Gun rights are their identity. It is social and political identity for these people. And the NRA, you have to give Wayne Lapierre credit for this. He's the guy who made this happen. I mean, he came in and did it, but it's no longer, who needs the NRA? In fact, the Kevin Kramer, the freshman South Dakota or North Dakota senator said yesterday, he's kind of one of those guys who blurts out the truth.
Right.
And the New York Times asked him, what would happen if you voted for, some kind of sensible gun regulation? He said, the people would vote me out of office. But it's that simple. It's not about, principle or I believe in the Second Amendment or blah, blah, blah. It's just I'd get voted out of office. And he's probably right. So there we are.
Yeah,
it's kind of,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I just one comment really briefly. It's kind of analogous to the way that Trump has also kind of dominated in terms of if you voted to impeach me or if you were in any way skeptical of January 6th, like that's the way that Republican voters have been disciplined to hold those Republicans accountable.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, this is sort of the way that they work now, right? I mean, and it's not really coming from, nobody can order them around, right? It's like, that's been one of the big myths here. It's like, the NRA, rules with an iron fist, or Donald Trump can, has them all wrapped around his finger. Well, I mean, to some extent they do, but we look at the election results in these primaries and Donald Trump doesn't have them wrapped around his finger to the extent that he can tell them what to do. But he does have the Republican, officials wrapped around his finger, at least on a national scale. Some of the locals seem to still have a little bit of independence left, but not very many. And you're right, because what has happened, though, is that the voters on the Republican side, and I think, we have to admit this, it's the voters. It's the Republican voters who are
this dynamic has been growing for as long as I've been doing this, and Digby, it was more or less the same time, or at the very least,
for sure.
Because we first saw this. I mean, and the analogy I used to use, and it just became almost so obvious it wasn't even worthwhile suggesting, was that Frankenstein created this monster, and now the monster's running loose through the town. And there's no, Frankenstein created it, but he can't necessarily control it. There's some things when Frankenstein's monster comes around and sees, his creator and sort of like, okay, and maybe doesn't go and pull out that guy's neck. But, we saw this. I think the first example of this was when Bush tried to do immigration reform.
Yep.
And Levin and Laura Ingraham and Hannity and Limbaugh and all of those pillars of the Republican Party. And I don't say that facetiously. They have control over these people in a way that that the Republican politicians don't, because these people don't want to cede that control. And when Bush tried to do some form of immigration reform, I'm not giving him plaudits for it. They were quite sensitive to the idea that, like, I think they thought that they needed to do that in order to, increase their sort of electoral chances in the future. They were stopped dead in their tracks by this growing, whatever you want to call it, conservative types of people. And there was all these type of themes that went in there, and guns, the NRA, like you said, they basically created this tradition that, that with the help of the Supreme Court in 2008, made this point the other day. Some of the ding-dongs on Twitter don't seem to understand that if you say guns weren't illegal 50 years ago, my dad had to carry a permit to carry a gun. that's the point. That's exactly the point. 50 years ago, there was no such thing as like, you need to have an unencumbered right to a gun. Your gun rights can be cumbered, essentially. Whether it's you leave it outside a Dodge, or, you got to have a permit, or there was an assault weapon ban for 10 years that was successful, at least, in cutting down on the number of deaths from assault weapons. And so, they are now, this is like a bedrock tradition. I mean, and Obama, he got that idea. They cling to their guns and whatnot. He didn't really do much about it. Didn't know how to address it. Didn't realize that, soon the tail was going to be wagging the dog. And that's exactly what Kramer was saying. It's like, this is out of our hands now. We created Frankenstein, and now, I'm not going to go tell Frankenstein he's got to sit in the corner. Frankenstein's monster, is going to do what he's going to do. You cited a great piece by Sarah Binder about, what's going to happen, over the next like 3 or 4 weeks, and the failure in many respects of, like I say, I don't know how much there is to be done, but the Democratic leadership in pursuing this now, as opposed to when it's going to dissipate.